Um, yeah. So hello guys. I know you're looking at a very different screen from usual. If you know my usual screen looks like, but basically, for some weird reason, Mary isn't here yet. I don't know why. He was online up until the stream started, and then he disappeared. So I'm guessing maybe something happened, so he has to leave. Maybe some obligations or some responsibilities or something like that that caused him to leave. So I think I won't start the analysis first, but maybe I can still maybe do a short guide instead because I saw lag. I think who was it in the server talking about how to prepare for selections, university selections to get into his university chess club, and I think as amateur or perhaps new club players, um, learning how to play the game of chess outside of chess is something that can be very interesting to learn as well. So what I mean by that is that, like, of course you can always learn chess, like how to play good moves, play openings, and so on and so forth. But outside of the actual board, or virtual board, there are tons of games that you can play. For example, mind games, stamina, um, preparation, or maybe even some sort of learning how to increase your chances of representing your club, or representing your country, or representing your city or school or something like that. So there are lots of things to learn outside of chess that aspiring competitive club player should learn as well. And let me just go ahead to the server to check what actually was the circumstances that I saw. I didn't read it too detailed because I was having dinner at the time. Oh yeah, it's like yeah, like Royale. What happened? So oh yeah, so it's university selections and going to pick top five among a round robin. So 15 plus 0, and yeah. So let's say you are about to play in a tournament. So what would you prepare? So obviously, you would sort of brush up your own repertoire. You're going to play practice games into the time format. For example, if you're going to play a blitz tournament, then you want to play some blitz games. If it's online, you preferably would want to play online. If it's on the board, you would preferably play on the board because 3 plus 2 on over the board and 3 plus 2 online is very very different, and it feels different. The timing is different, and if you are going to practice 3 plus 2 online for an over the board 3 plus 2 tournament, if you're not very experienced, it's going to harm you even more because it's going to build up a sense and a habit that is incorrect for the actual, or not incorrect, or like not optimal for the actual time control that you're playing for. So that's very important. And then you want to review your repertoire. Maybe there are some offbeat lines that you haven't seen very often, because when you play in a general unknown pool versus a specific tournament, it's a very different experience, and the lines and openings that people play will be very different because when you play online, maybe you have arrows to draw or whatever, or maybe you play more casually, you might play more recklessly. If you see a sacrifice, you might just go for it. But if you play over the board, maybe you might see more theory or maybe less theory depending on where you're playing of and who you're playing against. So there are all sorts of things to take into consideration, and reviewing your repertoire to make sure that you don't forget any lines, you keep your memory fresh, you can conserve time when you need to, or you have more flexibility in the tactics that you're trying to employ. So whether you want to fake your preparation, or whether you want to pretend that you didn't prepare anything, or you want to fake that you're out of preparation, things like that, they can only be possible if you have your repertoire and your knowledge fresh in your mind. Or what else can you do? For example, you might want to reinforce your weaknesses. So, for example, maybe during some training games or your recent games, you find that your rook and pawn end games have been pretty weak. So, you might want to play against Stockfish, or maybe play against a friend or a coach for specific rook and pawn endgames to practice and learn the technique, make sure that you can play it even under time pressure, for example, if that is a situation that you are often under. When you're before a tournament or maybe during a playing in a tournament, you don't want to learn new concepts or new plans because it will just confuse you and it will make you hesitate, which will cost you time and it might make you second guess yourself. So these are things that you want to learn and practice when you don't have any upcoming deadlines, don't have any urgent competitions or tournaments that are coming up, then you can, of course, feel free to play new openings, feel free to learn new things and stuff like that. But for a specific tournament or a specific thing, make sure you review your repertoire and 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 stick to what you know and things like that. Of course, there are exceptions, which, for example, when it comes to very hyper specific opening preparation. So, for example, maybe you're playing against a known opponent and you know the color, or if you don't know the color, you can prepare for both sides as well. Or if you know certain players are going to be in the pool, you can prepare for those players as well. But preparation, most of the time, is going to work by um, it's going to work by looking at your opponent's games or your opponent's repertoire and trying to find holes in them. What are lines that they have never faced before? What are lines that they seem to be unprepared with? What are some mistakes that they've made before? Maybe looking at their losses, maybe looking at their wins, trying, or if they are a very strong player, maybe trying to understand their playing style, so on and so forth. But this is all very conceptual, like very, very abstract, right? How can we actually prepare for someone and what does it actually look like? So I'm not sure how lax selection is going to be, like whether it's going to be round robin between the club's actual players or it's going to be round robin between the new applicants, and how that's going to be like. Because if it's the new applicants, then he probably doesn't know any of them, so preparation might not be that helpful. Like specific preparation might not be so helpful. Ruby, Boemi, I know you're challenging me, but unfortunately, I'm not accepting challenges at the moment. I'm just going over, um, I'm just going over general opening preparation advice while waiting for my co-commentator Meridian to come and join me for the analysis session. Yeah, but going on with the topic, hyper-specific preparation can probably only be done if you know who the pool of players are or which player you're going to play against in the next round. So, for example, the nice thing about online tournaments, right? For example, Lichess tournaments, you need to register and you need to log in beforehand, and there will be a Lichess account there. So, for example, if you're going to play in such a tournament, it is possible for you to pair lightly. Don't go too much into it because it will cut your focus and you will, like, stuff your memory full of potentially useless information. But maybe look at a few of the strong players or a few of the players that you are going to be competitive against, that the opening preparation can become an edge to push you over the edge and help you win against them if you meet them by some chance. Or the more straightforward one is if you know you're going to play a certain person, you just prepare for that person only. Uh, what did I want to say? Yeah. So when you're playing in an arena or a Swiss tournament and you don't know who the players are, but it's online, so you know the entire pool, you might want to look at players around the same rating as you and prepare for those players. Because if you prepare for the very, very strong players, odds are it's going to be a very time consuming task because it's not going to be easy to find weaknesses in the strong players' repertoire. If it's a very, very weak player, odds are you don't need preparation, just play what you know and you will do fine. It's the players that are around the same rating as you and that you are more likely to be matched up against eventually, given that the rounds are sufficient for the Swiss pairings to do their thing or arena pairings to do their thing. You'll play against players who are around the same level as you, and opening preparation against them might be what it takes to give you a distinctive advantage to make those competitive games into easy wins for you. Oh, Mary is here. Let me pull you up. Yeah, so I was just talking about opening preparation for Lux situation. Um, Wait, did I mute you? I didn't mute you, right? I can't hear you though.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, great.
Yeah. But let me just very quickly go over like basic opening preparation.
Oh,
Then
sure.
then we can get into the games. So I'm just going to use the example that do you know if Lag is playing against the president or against like the round robin for the applicants or something like that?
I believe top five get into the club.
Yeah, but who is in the pool? So all the
No,
applicants.
I don't know the pool. I asked Lai. I don't think Lai knows the pool either.
Mm, yeah, makes sense. Okay, so I'm just going to use the president as an example. Maybe I'm just going
Are
to
we
pull
going to
up.
opening three?
Yeah. So for example, I hope this isn't infringing on his privacy or anything. But for example,
Uh,
let's say you have a random Lichess online player, or if you know their online accounts, then uh, you have a account to work with. There's a very handy website that you can use called opening3.com.
by the way, if
Yes?
just a handy tip, if you have their real name,
Mm-hmm.
oftentimes you can just Google their real name with chess.com or Lee Chess behind it, and
Yeah,
you'll find it.
yeah, very true. So I'm not going to log in for now because stuff. So you can just enter the Lichess username and then just press continue. So for example, if you already know you are playing as white, then it's going to be easier. But if you don't know the colors, you can just prepare for both sides. It's very simple. So I'm going, let's say I'm playing white, so this person is playing black. I'm going to analyze games. Just press analyze, and you see that all the games are loading up on the website. And it'll take some time to load depending on the number of games. If you log in, it'll be slightly faster. But once it's done, or even while it's still loading, you can just press the view moves over here, or you can press the button up here. And you'll see all the moves that that player has played, whether it is tournament or casual or rated or whatever, they will be shown here. You can also use specific filters. For example, if you only want rated games or only certain time controls, you don't want bullet games or you don't want recent games, then you can adjust them in the filters as well. But generally, I like to just view everything if my opponent doesn't play an insane amount of games. For example, this opponent I think only plays like what several hundred games, so it's not too bad. It's just a few seconds of loading time. So the way I would do this is I would just test it out because I'm white, for example. So I might go, okay, my most played tournament opening is knight f3. So I'll see what the common approaches, common openings are that this opponent plays. So I see c6, I see d5, I see knight f6. These are probably the more common uh, moves. Then I'll stop first, then I'll go for d4. Is it because this player plays the Slav? Yes, it seems that is the case because I see c6 here as well. And if I play e4, is it a Caro-Kann? Yeah, it seems that it's a Caro-Kann or a Sicilian. So let's say maybe my repertoire is involving. I like to play against the Caro-Kann more than the Slav, for example. Then maybe I'll check the Caro-Kann first. So I'll play against the Caro-Kann and see. Let's say if I play the advanced, what will my opponent do? So my opponent most commonly plays the uh, I forgot Carl's
Cosbot Vinit.
yeah Carl's Bavinic variation. So maybe I want to play against that, and then if there is maybe my preparation is something like maybe knight f3, then I see knight c6. Okay, this all looks very standard. It doesn't seem like there's anything I can prepare against. Like I don't see anything advantageous here. Then maybe I might abandon the Caro-Kann for now. Then maybe I'll try the Slav, and then maybe go for the main lines. Let's say I play this. Oh, very interesting. Instead of bishop, there is a line where my opponent likes to play bishop f5, or maybe my bishop f5 is my opponent's favorite move, or he tends to like to play that variation. Maybe I might prefer to go knight f3 instead, so that in the case of bishop f5, I want to go through the barrier variation, and there are some tricky traps here that my opponent may fall into. My opponent coincidentally has not played that opening before, so I might be able to trap my opponent in some of the lines, something like that. So this is like
After bishop f5, can't you just takes and queen b3?
yeah, you can. That's one of the options. Yes, depends on what you're going for.
Fair. Yeah, that's why the move I play is a6. Quite interesting.
So that's just a very simple example on how opening preparation can be done. But okay, since Mary is now here, we can go on back to our usual program, which is the
All
Untitled
right.
Chess tournament. Yes. Let's see. So now we are already in the quarterfinals. So things are pretty sort of high stakes. Do you remember what the awards are? Like whether they,
I'm pretty sure just nitro as usual.
yeah,
Like
but
2 months nitro, 1 month nitro for second place, and then third and fourth place I believe get like Discord Classic
classic.
or something like
Yeah,
that.
I think something like that. Is there like the Grandmaster of the Seven Seas thing
Yes,
called
there
the
was
game?
a rule as well.
Yeah. So basically,
Similar one. Let me check.
wait, do they have a new one or
I
you can
believe they
check?
made a new one. I believe they made a new one.
Uh,
I will
who?
check. You can continue first. I'll check and get back to you.
Let's check.
Yeah, Grandmaster of the Sevens. Oh no, it's the same role.
Oh, it's the same role.
Yeah.
Who has it?
Me and uh the winner of the tournament. This tournament, so fried rice.
Oh, that's Atlantean Grandmaster also. I forgot about that one.
Yeah, Lantern Grandmaster is top 8.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So there is still a top eight one, is it?
Yeah. So everyone here, I believe, got the because we're
So
in quarterfinals, so I believe everyone here got the role.
be um. I can't actually find anyone. Maybe Vadim. Is Vadim in Gurakhod?
Hmm?
Is Vadim in Gurakhod?
I don't believe so. I believe they're from a different server,
Yeah.
but they do have
So
the role.
okay, okay. So basically, everyone here is playing for prizes.
Yeah.
Yes, this is the first game. This is quarterfinals. This is the first game of Light versus Penguin. And I believe you said this. You want to look at this game, right?
Yeah, sure. This was an interesting one.
Oh, because when you said the first game, second game, I wasn't sure if you're talking about the quarterfinals or the semifinals or which first game was it.
Oh no! You asked me to look at the first two matches, so
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. So let's just get right into it, I guess.
yeah,
E4 C6, okay, Caro-Kann, we were just talking about earlier, so nothing new. D4 D5, E5, advance, and okay, 4-minute counter variation. C3.
yeah. This is just I have noticed this with like he plays this line that's just objectively speaking not as good.
Yeah, I think this is a very common move to play for people who seldom play against the body cows.
Mm.
Like even very very strong players, they will instinctively play this because they recognize the French structure, so they play advanced French kind of view. But it's sort of a better advanced French, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, knight c6, putting a lot of pressure, contesting these two squares in the center. That's going to be the opening team. Knight f3, defending those same two squares. We see a trade on d4, bishop to g4, controlling this knight over here. Once again, putting more pressure on these two squares. Bishop e2, bringing the pin. E6, closing up the pawn chain now that the bishop is out, and preparing to develop on the king side next. So we see castles getting a king to safety, knight g to e7, presumably going for like French ideas, putting the knight on f5 and adding even more pressure to the d4 pawn. So we see knight b to d2, reinforcing the knight and maybe reinforcing the two pawns with something like knight b3 in the future. We see knight f5 as planned, h3 kicking the bishop, forcing black to make a decision. The dark light square bishop is black's bad bishop anyway, so black decides to trade it off with bishop takes f3, knight takes
Of course,
f3.
there is this line with just like h5, right? I believe this is a thing.
Is it a thing?
It should be.
Should be, yes.
You can't take.
I think it's possible because if you take here,
You take, and the knight moves, you just die.
yeah, you can't move your knight here. You have to give back the knight
Yeah.
because if you move your knight anywhere, then it's just mate. Yeah,
It's made
there's
like
no stopping
something.
this. Yeah. So you have to give back the knight with something like I don't know.
Engine is saying g3 is the best.
that makes sense because you want after G3 takes back and then now you have a bishop tucked in here. Oh, no, but now you give up the pawn though.
No, wait, what?
No, if you
Pawn
take here
takes,
then
knight takes. It says
here.
knight takes.
This is
You have
very
to take
bad.
with the knight. You have to take
Yeah,
with
you
the
have to take
knight.
the knight.
And it's
This
saying
still
this
looks
is
nice. This still looks nice for black.
it's very, very slightly better for black.
Yeah. So that's why you can't take the the bishop. So yeah, h5 is a move indeed. It's the fishing pole.
Yeah.
So instead we see trade here on f3, bishop takes f3, knight takes f3, maintaining control over the squares, and the queen also protects it so the pawn is not hanging. It's a queen to b6, trying to prevent this
It's a
bishop
good.
from being able to develop and relieve the pressure by targeting this b2 pawn. But bishop to
Yeah.
e3 anyway, giving up the pawn. So I guess white is claiming that if you take, then I'm going to play rook to b1, and then you're going to suffer after something like
Because you just
this.
immediately lose this pawn, so here you probably can't take.
Hmm?
I don't think black can take the pawn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So currently the pawn is poisoned, so that's why white still plays bishop e3 anyway.
I think knight e3 looks quite okay.
And knight e3 is definitely good. What was wait that wasn't played? Oh, okay, it wasn't played. It
Bishop
was bishop
e7,
e7. Bishop e7 was played,
which
so
is
it
quite a decent
makes
move.
sense as well. Yeah, get the king castle, then if the king is castled, you can take and trade pawns. It's a possibility at least. So getting the bishop out, getting rid of the castle. You see bishop to d3, potentially forcing black to take the bishop pair. Not really take the
Yeah,
bishop pair because
because
there's no
you're
bishop
kind
pair.
of looking to take here.
Yeah, it's looking to give up the bishop pair in exchange for releasing the pressure over the pawn center.
And I guess this diagonal is decent.
Yeah. So black decides to take on e3, and f takes e3, only move, and now we see that this
It's
pawn
castles.
structure, while as long as
It
minor
looks weak,
pieces are off the
but
board, it's going to be strong.
yeah, because there's really no way to crack it right now.
Yeah, and it can prove to actually prevent black's pieces from moving over to the king side in the event of a king side attack. So that's
So I
why,
guess you castle queenside, right?
yeah, queen side is probably a safer option because it's really hard for black's pieces to move over to the king side. Can get a very quick attack very easily. So
Let's see, castles. Is there some rook c1?
if rook c1, you can just play king b8, right?
King
Something
b8,
else.
about equal, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, king side castles was chosen instead, and maybe you can play something like queen e1. Queen e1 or something like that could lead to a quick attack. Or maybe knight h2. Knight h2 is also an idea to move the knight out of the way and get a quick attack in. Attack on light squares, and there's no real, no good way for black to move the pieces over to the queen side. Of course, it's not completely winning, but it's just easier to play for white. But instead, queen to c2 was played, which is also a good move, lining up this battery over to the king side. Also, the same thing, taking advantage of the fact that there is no knight here on f6, and there can be no easy maneuvers of the knight here, while also clinging over to the b2 pawn and preparing to play for the queen side as well. So playing on both sides of the board, very nice move. We see h6 preventing the
h6 is
pawn.
a bit weird.
It's understandable. You don't want to
Yeah,
worry
but I
about
think
that.
g6 just stopping anything from coming in probably a bit safer.
The G6 is probably safer because
Yeah,
you
because you
have a
just
dark square
can't get
bishop
in.
here as well. Yeah, dark
And
square
also
bishop
because
against dark
now
square
this
bishop.
bishop can't really enter because you realize all these squares are guarded.
And with the f pawn out of the way, there's no real f5 move to crack open the structure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
so
then
this
maybe
will
we
take
can
a
play
long
some
time.
sort of like knight b4 next move.
Yeah, knight b4 will be coming soon to get rid of the light square bishop, and then at that point it will be completely safe. But I don't think you necessarily want to play knight b4 yet because
No,
the
but knight
position
b4
is
does look
somewhat
good
close.
because if the queen retakes the bishop, this pawn Okay, no, you still can't take the pawn, I think.
You can't take the pawn, but it's a waste of tempo. Basically, you gain a tempo, kind of. Cause like,
Mm.
let's say maybe some random move, let's say h4, right? You want to go for h5. Then if you play knight b4 here, then you have to move your queen. Let's say anywhere. Then you
Then you
take.
take, queen
Then you play rook
takes.
ac8. Then basically you have won the tempo in that we needed to
Yeah.
control the c file. So you're sort of winning a tempo here. So that's why it might be a good decision to prevent this by preemptively moving the queen, so that if knight b4 comes, you can avoid the trade and play bishop b1 or something like that. Keep everything, um, keep all of your cards on the table. Black nb4 is RIP. Queen b3. Queen b3 is also playable. Yeah, but it's not really needed. Because I think white is trying to play for an advantage here. Black is the position is equal, but white is trying to play for an advantage, I think, because it's easier to play.
Yeah, I think black's just gonna trade everything off and it's hit for a draw.
Yeah. Okay, but h6 was played instead of g6, so this creates a bit more attacking possibilities by creating a hook. A3
Mm.
we see,
Okay, but it's
so
not really a hook because there's no dark square bishop to take advantage.
I was thinking of the pawns.
Uh, Here g4. Like
I mean,
now, maybe.
it's not really a feasible plan. I guess it's just sort of a conceptual idea, because the reason why against, if it's a dark square bishop against a light square bishop, why you play g6 instead of, the reason why I play g6 instead of h6 is because you play h6, right? Yes, your pawn won't be taken, but the square is still controlled by the bishop, so you don't really
Yeah,
gain anything. But if you play g6, you actually limit the bishop, and
the bishop just
gain more
doesn't have
squares for
anywhere to
your bishop.
go.
Yeah, so that's what I
Um,
mean by it
yeah,
still
h6 is
preserves the
just
chances of
is
attack.
weakening, I think.
Mm.
It's
So
just
like let's say,
weakening.
right, if h6, then if you go here, here, and here, right, then eventually you can even go back and this is still a mid track. Whereas if you play g6, then you don't need to worry about any of
Mm,
that kind of deal.
true.
Okay, a3 was played, so my guess is maybe trying to play, what is the objective of this move? Guess preparing to move the a rook, or maybe preparing to play b4 and then like knight d2, knight b3, knight c5. Maybe something like that, I guess. But let's see what happens. We see rook a to c8 instead of knight b. Oh, I guess it's just to prevent knight b4. Makes sense, actually. Just to prevent knight b4. So rook a to c8, and now the queen has to move. So queen to e2, staying on the light squares. We see rook to c7, preparing to double up. Knight h2, preparing to maybe go attack over on the king side. Rook f to c8, so black achieves a double stack. But for now, it isn't really that threatening, because the c1 square is controlled by both rooks, the c2 square is controlled by the bishop, and the c3 square is controlled by the pawn. So while this does look very, very nice, it does prevent white from being able to do anything on the queen side. It doesn't really allow black to do anything either. And if something like maybe, very simply, um, queen f3, queen f3 even, to add pressure along this file, things can get very nasty very quickly. So let's say if queen f3, and maybe prepare this and this, then things can get very, very, very dangerous, because again h6 has been played, so there's only one pawn defending this g6 square, and that pawn is also very weak as well. So you have to be very, very careful if you're white here, if you're black here, sorry. Okay, so queen f2 was played, the same idea, I guess. Either side sack the knight.
What?
Jakyun says either side sack the knight.
Why? How would you sack this knight? Like here?
No, I think previously, because there's some delay, right? So he said
I,
this after the
Okay, this doesn't work.
Wait, let me see. When were there any sacking opportunities?
Uh,
Yeah, I don't think maybe here. No, maybe here, maybe here. Is it referring
but
to here? No, no.
I don't think there's enough tempo.
I don't see a
Uh,
knight sack at any point.
uh, maybe when this pawn was hanging. No, but then the knight was here. It would take
Yeah,
that.
the knight was there. Maybe if suggest moves can include like what the move previously was, like for example after castle sack the knight or
Yeah,
after
and
the
for white, there's
after
just no good
doubling.
way to sack. This doesn't make sense. But when it was here, this didn't make sense. Neither did this. I don't see a good way to sack just yet.
It's okay. If Dakyun clarifies, then we can look at it. For now, let's
Alright.
continue looking at the game. So we see over here, um, queen f2 to apply pressure here. So black cautiously plays bishop to f8, trying to hold things together and then also opening up the protection of the rook over here. But then again, black has to be very careful. In the event of a rook trade on the c file, black has to remember that the rook was also previously defending this f7 square, which is very vulnerable. So we do see that contesting coming in from white is rook a c1, trying to contest the c file, knight a5, initiating a trade, and as long as oh, I think that indeed happened. We see rook takes c7, rook takes c7, which is a big blunder over here because of a very nice move that Black managed to find. Bishop to g6, adding another attacker over here to the f7 square. So now there's three pieces attacking the f7 square and only two pieces which are defending it. And there is no way, absolutely no way at all, for Black to be able to bring in another defender. So this pawn is as good as gone now, and white is pretty, Black is pretty screwed in this position. And you can't really take an
Mm-hmm.
angle because, as we'll see in the game, after f takes g6, which was played, there is queen takes f8, king h7 is forced, and knight g4. We see queen to c6, I guess trying to maneuver and get back in somehow. Rook to f7, doubling up and putting a lot of pressure onto the g7 square. See a trade on f7. Queen to c8, I guess neglecting this move, which we do see coming. Knight to f6 check. The pawn is pinned, so you can't really take the knight. King h8 is the only move. Knight to e8, block obstructing the queen, preparing to checkmate. Queen to c1 check, trying to give some spike checks. For the king h2, there is no longer any defense for black, and this is force mate in 2. So with that, black resigns the game. So it started off fairly even, but obviously it was much easier for white to play throughout the game.
Yeah.
And eventually, after a single blunder, which is taking back the rook instead of the queen, white made very accurate moves to exploit it, and
Mm. I mean, this
just
bishop
won.
g6 was
Just
just
won.
very cool. So
Yeah, the bishop g6 move was a very good awareness, and once again shows the weakness of h6 over g6
mm.
when playing dark square bishop against light square bishop. Because if you have opposite color bishops, if there's a side attacking, it's going to be very tough for the defending side. Because you can see, although there was a dark square bishop here, it didn't do anything to defend against the light square attacks, and which is very important. Why the white keeping the queen on the light squares because of the this light square advantage over black. Okay, so with that, Lag takes the lead within the match. Are there any other games that you have looked at, Mary?
Um, I looked at like the first two matches. The rest of it was kind of weird in that it was like normal chess, and then someone would
No,
just
I
hang a
mean like
piece.
game, not match, game.
Yeah. Like I'm saying like the rest of the games,
Oh,
like
so
they're
look at
all
the first two
just
games. Okay,
like no, like most of the other games are just like decent chess, and then someone hangs a piece.
yeah. So that kind of that would kind of suck.
Yeah, especially
I
I
think this
think
one also.
the worst one was the I think it was this one. I think like just hung a
Yeah,
knight.
yeah, this one, this one.
Yeah, this one was horrendous.
But random piece.
I mean, to be fair, white's already down a pawn and suffocating. I mean, terrible center. Knight is dead, and then the knight just like dies,
Yeah,
and white resigns.
I guess you have to play knight d4 or
Uh,
something, right? Try to put pressure.
yeah, maybe it's a mouse
Just
slip. I don't know.
defend. Yeah, take.
Yeah, I guess like rook c1 takes also works.
And you try to trade stuff off. Or you win a pawn
I mean,
first.
you can regain your pawn.
Then you give up a lot of activity. You can take another pawn
Yeah.
even if you want. If you dare.
It's not really a free pawn because it's rook b7. Rook
Yeah,
b6, sorry.
yeah. And then black just gains a lot of activity.
I guess you play like rook c1.
Rook c1. I guess you double up. Defend the pawn. Prepare to double up. Triple stack.
No, I think you have to play rook fc1 because if rook ac1, right, there's this queen a8, and then after you take, this pawn hangs. So you need the rook here.
Yeah, that makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, but this was one of the. This was an unfortunate game for black.
Yeah.
I think there was some somewhat swingy games I've seen.
And this first one was a bit interesting. You can look at this one. The first one between
Tubby
Pizza and
and
Fabi.
Tommy Pizza.
Yeah.
Okay,
I think the
yeah,
first
yeah.
one
Wait,
was a
is
bit
it this
sneaky.
one? No, I think there was another one. Okay, never mind. We look at this one first.
Okay.
So here, also quarterfinals. Yes, Tubby versus Tommy Pizza, and then let me check some stuff. Yeah, so this one is quarterfinals as well. Tubby versus Hobbit Pizza and Tubby the white pieces against Hobbit Pizza. So we see e4, e6, we see a French this time and a true French. See knight f3, a very interesting knight variation. I don't see that too often to be honest. D5, e takes d5, and then
Yeah,
you
but
just.
this usually just goes into an exchange, no?
I was excited for no reason. I thought it was going to be a two knights, but I guess I don't remember seeing any two knights at any time recently. So e takes d5, and now we get exchange French, basically, after d4, so now this exchange French. Knight f6, symmetrical variation, bishop to e2, bishop knight c6. Also interesting, knight c6, going for a more dynamic kind of
Mm.
move. Oftentimes, black tries to go either c6 to castle queen side, or maybe even c5 to be a bit more aggressive. But knight c6 is a bit more unusual because it doesn't really gain anything for black. But knight c, oh my bad, knight c3 going for the symmetrical. So now this is kind of like a four knights, some sort of four knights with the
Yeah.
queen's pawns instead. See bishop to g4, trying to pin or maybe trade off the knight uh, in order to gain activity, I guess, or maybe to maybe get some quick queenside castling. So you see h3, forcing black to make a decision. h5 was played. There is no pin in the first place, but here we see bishop to f4, just developing the bishop to a nice active square. Bishop to
Bishop
d6, facing against the
e6.
bishop, and um, now white doesn't have the option of retreating to g3 over here. So there are only two options, two decent options, I guess, is to play bishop to g5 to create a pin, or to trade off the dark square bishop and just place
I
a
mean,
knight
bishop
through to
g5, you
g3.
probably come back and you can repeat moves, right?
Yeah, but I mean, if they play the exchange French, that's probably what I just said once, right?
Yeah.
But okay, we see queen to d2 instead. So defending the bishop, but this is a bit problematic.
Because I think, can you even take?
I don't think you want to take yet. I think because By playing queen to d2, white is sort of committing to not taking the bishop or moving the bishop, right? So I think I'll take advantage of that and leave the queen on a bad square for as long as possible. So maybe do other stuff first, like maybe I play knight to e4, but not yet. Maybe you castle first, then you play knight to e4, prepare something like rook e1, take advantage of the fact that white is still not castle yet. Yeah, castle and knight e4 maybe. Take advantage of the queen being here.
Yeah.
So here we see castles from black. Oh, indeed going for that. And then we see white who goes with the queenside castle. Very, very unusual. Very, very unusual indeed. So I guess we are going to anticipate some sort of g4 very soon. g4, g5 maybe.
Yeah.
See a6, maybe
And
preparing
now g4.
b4. You see g4, okay, very nice. Bishop to g6 retreating. h4, hanging a pawn.
No, h4 still early.
Yeah, h4 hangs the pawn. But the pawn wasn't taken.
I
Do you
guess
want to
like here
play
you play like
g4? Do you want
you
to play
move your knight,
g5?
so you can play h5.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's a very
No,
that makes sense.
you don't play g5 because g5 just knight h5.
True, you want to play this maybe, right?
Yeah, you want to get h5. h5 maybe even h6 in.
Yeah, because the bishop is the one that's shot on squares, not the knight. Yeah, that makes
And
sense.
you don't want anything to block your queen, your attack.
Your h file, yeah.
Yeah, so
Correct.
I think you just move your knight somewhere like here, like here or here,
I
and then you
think knight
just
e5 makes more
and then you
sense
start pushing.
because you defend the pawn, right?
Yeah, both are fine because the main point is the bishop.
Oh yeah, true.
So you
But then
just
we
move your
see
knight. Let's
h4
say
here. Oh sorry,
yeah,
never
and
mind, you can show the
after
line.
after knight e4, knight e5, sorry, just h4 h5, and I guess to defend black, play some
It's only here, right? You have to play h6
h6,
now, I think.
make space for the bishop.
Then you can even choose to take. Do you want to take?
No, I don't think so. Let's say takes, right? Because
Okay,
now,
yeah.
if you attack down here, it's very difficult to break this for one. And
True.
if you attack down like here, the king might be able to just run.
Yeah, this doesn't look that great. Once it's on the board, it doesn't look that great.
I mean, with the bishop there, you still have a slight advantage and the damage structure, but
You could take the other side though, if you want to just damage structure, I guess.
take the other
Without,
side,
it
just
is
take
a
some
bit
back.
scary. It is a bit scary because you're
Yeah,
opening up
because
a
there's
file
like,
where
yeah,
your
rook
king is.
b8.
But I think this looks better for white because the pieces aren't really accessible
It's still
because of the
probably better
structure.
for white because they're still coming in.
Yeah, I think this looks very comfortable for white. Black's
But
attack is too slow.
I think you don't even need to take.
Yeah, but I guess ticks is something that you
What if
want to
we
look at.
what if we play h4 to go g5?
Maybe we assume
Because
knight
now that this
e4,
has
right?
been played, you knight e4.
Because you want to target the queen.
Okay, takes. I
Takes with
assume bishop
bishop maybe.
takes.
Yeah, because you can preserve the structure. Keep the center closed.
Just move the rook somewhere. Maybe rook h3, rook
Yeah,
h.
I like rook h3. I think preparing to double up and stuff.
Rook h3. Then you're gonna play like this and this.
Yeah.
Actually, wait. Why don't we
No,
just
no,
play
no,
this first?
no, 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 no. Wait. Let me think.
Why don't we just play f3 first?
I think we don't want to play h3 if it's not necessary, right? They don't want to play f3 if it's not
f3.
necessary. We play rook h3 first. Because I think there are some cases where we want to just directly play g5 and let the bishop come in
Mm.
without playing f3.
No, I want to play f3 because I want to put my rook here. But I guess they can come later.
Yeah, I want to open up the file first, then only bring the rook there. Because I think if we wait, right, if we wait, then let's say you go h7, right? Then what do you do here? g5?
Try g5. No, but then
Then you go
h5.
h5. Then you don't have the bishop attacking already, so that's the difference.
Okay.
So instead, maybe rook h3. If you want, whenever you want to double up, you can always play that. But then, if you try to do the same thing now, you can't really do it. So maybe if you play G6
No,
to
no, no.
no,
You're hanging too much.
yeah. So you can say you can't play G6, so you can't play H5. So you can't stop this from happening. You can't stop
I guess
G5
you
from
like play
happening.
rook e8 and just like run away.
Rook e8. I think the thing is right. If the black king ever runs away, so let's say rook e8, then maybe you go G5. Maybe you go G5.
G5.
Do you start running now,
Not now, right?
or do you take the knight first? Trade everything in the
Because
center
let's
first, because now you have a rook over there as well.
what? Knight d4, queen d4, c5, c5, queen c3, queen c7. What?
Huh? What? What knight d4?
My engine is saying to play this.
Oh, compensation. What's this? And then
And I guess you can't defend everything.
ah, interesting.
G8, bishop e5, bishop
Bishop
e5, queen
e5.
e5, h takes g7, queen e6, and this is a draw.
Why not trade queens?
This rook takes, and white's still up a pawn.
The pawn is going to be recaptured, right?
Let's say we recapture
No, not
now.
now, not
No,
now,
but
because
rook
this pawn is hanging.
c5.
This pawn is hanging. If e6 first, then you're going to capture
Okay,
the knight.
b6. But how do you defend that pawn?
I guess rook g3
Yes,
if you
rook
want to defend it.
g3. Oh, that's interesting. bc2.
Oh. Even here, actually, you can recapture back the queen as well. It's an option. When
No,
you
no,
lose
no,
this
no, no,
pawn,
no, 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 no,
this is
no,
very
no.
bad. Yeah, yeah, you're right, right. Okay. Instead of this line, right? Instead of this long term this sort of long
Is it?
line, the
Yeah, I
one
think
I
you can just
saw,
take in a
the
center.
move that I saw was queen c8. Here you can gain a tempo, help the.
But now the rook can go to the g5 because there's no problem of the h pawn hanging.
I guess this was just a resource that I found. The other move that I was thinking
Yeah,
of was just trading
just
everything
yeah,
on
just trade
b5.
everything, right?
Yeah.
We've whatever takes, just take back the bishop, then rook comes in.
Yeah. But I was also thinking that if the king is once you see the king run, then you're going to play knight takes c, right?
Yeah, true.
So that
Let's
there's no
see.
safe space for the black king anywhere. Once you see that the
Mm.
king is running.
I mean, this is probably heading for a draw, right? After something like this.
White has more space. There's still f3
Mm.
coming.
Probably not f3 now, right? You want to get your
Not
rook
now,
out
not
first.
now. Yeah.
Say like rook b1 maybe. Oh no, wait. Oh no, blunders a pawn. So rook c1 with the c pawn, c6.
Maybe you don't
This
want to
is
double
always a
here. You want
problem.
to double on the e file. Once you double here,
So
then this is no longer a threat, right?
why don't we just play rook e1 then?
Yeah, rook e1. That's
Yeah,
doable.
rook e1.
Then it's just a normal two rooks, a bishop endgame.
Pain.
With symmetrical pawn structure, but white with more space, but at the same time more vulnerable pawns. Right?
I guess you try and play against this.
Yeah, play against the fact that black's pawns are all on light squares and they're only nice bishops. Wait, what was that sound?
Oh no, that's my speaker in the
Oh, okay.
background.
So I thought it was my Wi-Fi notification, like poor Wi-Fi or something like that.
No, I'm pretty sure my speaker's broken, so it's just making sounds.
No, that's fine. Um, yeah. Anyway, so this eventually just got into a normal. This would be a normal rook endgame, but instead, back here after h4, the pawn wasn't taken. Instead, we saw h6 here, very logical, trying to get the bishop back. And you see h5, which isn't really that great now because after even just retreating, for example, there is now no way to access the king side, right? This pawn is still a
Rook
weakness.
G1.
This pawn is still a
Rook
weakness.
G1. Rook G1, what do I play? Bishop F4, Queen F4. You want to take away all the attackers, so I guess you take. Try and trade queens.
Queen d6. Knight e5 to prevent that. I guess if you want to keep trading, try and trade everything off, and then just claim that this is weak. But it's
No,
still
but in
fairly
this
equal,
case,
right?
there might be. Is there any? No, there's not any other. But what if we trade and then push?
So if we trade, then you take a bishop, right? Take a bishop, then you push
Yeah,
down.
probably, and then you push.
G5?
It's not H5. What can
There's
black
no
do?
G6. There's no F5. Is that F5? No, there's no F5. Wait, is
Just
that F5? No,
F5, no
F5
pawn
doesn't.
takes.
Yeah, so I
Just
think
take, right?
F6. F6 because there's the urgency of the knight in the same
Uh-huh.
thing. If you take here, I take here. And if you move your knight, then I just take.
Sure.
So probably only move like this
Here.
because F5 doesn't work. F5 doesn't work, G6
Okay,
does
so it's
work.
F6. Takes, rook here. No, okay, there's nothing.
Yeah, there's nothing there.
Uh,
But this would need to be
okay.
found, which I don't think Homemade Pizza will be able to find, to be honest.
Takes. I guess rook takes.
If G takes F6, I think both are fine. Queen takes also can, Rook takes also can. It's roughly the same, right? Wait, is there any tactic? No, right? Okay, let's say we take
Wait,
here.
what?
Then if we take with the Rook, is there any special tactic here?
I guess you like bring it back and like try to go here. So I guess queen is probably better because you add defenders.
Psychologically, F6 looks very difficult to find. It looks like it weakens the king side too much. The hold on G6. Yes, you are right. That's why I identified it as first as well. But it's like F5 is a thematic defense resource, but it doesn't work here. So we look at F6 to try and serve the same purpose with the urgency of the knight. So, but yeah, I agree that it's very hard to find, and I don't think Comic Pizza will be able to
Apparently
find it.
GH is fine.
Hmm?
Apparently this is fine. Queen
Yeah, this is
G5.
fine. There's no attack here.
No, but this is fine for white, I'm saying.
This fine. Yeah, this fine for both sides
But one side's down a piece.
because there's no way to make progress without killing your king,
Uh,
and it's also piece on 2 pawns
only move for black is rook G8.
to trade off everything at once.
Rook G8.
Wait,
Say I play some stupid move.
just take the pawn. This is the most stupid move you can find. Oh yeah, because it's just made two. What the hell?
Oh,
Yeah, so you can't play a stupid move. So you trade things off immediately. Maybe you
bishop.
try and triple stack. You can't take because you get mated. So you
So
bring
it's
another
just
defender.
turtle.
Yeah, turtle. Then you can't make progress, I guess. You try to attack.
A pawn.
Yeah,
Ooh.
so maybe you go this way to go here.
And then now we can take because it covers the square.
Ah, so you kick the knight and also prevent like any stuff here.
Oh, and that's why it's a draw because
Oh, because
engine
you have to
says you
give up
have
the
to
knight.
sacrifice it.
Because you have to F8 cover the
Ah,
square. Then you give back the knight. No, but you
you don't even take. What happens if you take? Oh, this
oh
is made in 9?
because you can't play king d1. So I guess here again. Then here this only move. What is
Queen
here? Oh, because of the
F2,
rook
King
here. Yeah, okay,
D1,
okay, okay.
Queen, and you
Okay, this is
lose
mate swing.
everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can't open up your king. So it's just
Instead, the
Rook G2
recommendation is rook g2
to like
defend the square.
predict everything.
Yeah.
Queen
You
F6,
have six retreat.
Queen S6, Rook
Try to
F6,
trade everything off. Then
and now we can take.
now take and then everything just fizzles out into a draw. Is it? Okay, e takes d4.
ED, Rook C7, Rook
Then trade.
H6,
Okay. Then f3, keeping everything down.
F3, D3.
Oh wait, it doesn't actually wait. You can take here right because it's pinned. You can take h5.
Yeah, but it's probably still equal. Because
No,
after
no.
all this, you still have like
Oh
this,
yeah,
so
yeah,
it's
yeah,
probably
yeah.
still equal.
Okay. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, then this probably is nothing much.
This is insane, bro.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get back to reality. Let's get back to reality.
Okay, this should be fine.
Lichess Twitch user are whales cool? I guess whales are pretty cool. For example, there's this very cool killer whale called Sakamata Chloe. Very cool whale. Likes to make a lot of annoying noises. But that's a different topic. Yeah. Um, we get back to reality. Instead, trading with the bishop instead. The bishop takes e5. He takes e5. Knight to d7. So the issue with that is,
Just G. For one, this pawn is free, but I think you can just play G5.
yeah, I think you can just play b5 now and just kill. But instead, white takes the pawn, which is also, of course, still a good move because the pawn is a pawn at the end of the game.
Mm,
And now black's pieces have no access over to the king side. You can see these squares are all controlled. So pieces can't get in. And this light square bishop is looking
and
not
this is
so
like,
great. Yeah. We see rook e8 over here. I guess maybe trying to create some sort of escape route, perhaps.
that is a free
But
piece.
the piece is hanging, yeah. But it wasn't found. It wasn't found by Tabi. Instead, Tabi went queen to c4.
What? Tubby found all these decent moves in bullet style, having spent 1 minute, and then spent 30 seconds to not take a free piece.
Oh yeah, good thing to note. As of now, um, both of them still have 8 plus minutes on the clock. Almost 9 minutes. Remember, this is a 10 plus 0 game, by the way. 10 plus 0 game, by the way. 10 plus 0 game, and they barely spent a bit over a minute to reach this position over here. Okay, queen to c4, missing the free knight. So knight c takes e5, trying to take advantage of that. But wait,
You have to take it to bro. Neither of those are legal moves.
it's still hanging, right? This is still hanging.
Oh, is it
Because
this?
after here it's hanging, right? And then you need to go here. Then you can play g5 and then and you're gone.
Oh boy.
This looks very, very dangerous. And h takes g5, you can play h6 even, threatening mate in one. Hmm. Want to play rook here? Or do you want to just break with f4? Either way, you want to take this pawn and like kill the king. Kapow.
Ah.
Or that works as well. That works as well. Or maintain still threatening the network. Yeah, okay, yeah, that works. That works. That works. That makes sense. So you have to move the knight somewhere, or you can move
And
it
then it
here.
takes.
Wait. Let's say you move it here. Knight to f6. You take.
Nice.
Okay. So knight to f6 is not great because you want to play something like f6 again.
Ah.
Because if here, then if you take here, then at least you can let your rook defend. Maybe like something like g6. Because if your knight was here, then your knight would be under attack.
Hmm.
But then this bishop is dead, so kind of rough.
I mean, it's either your bishop dies or your king dies. So
True. Now here f6 is actually interesting. Yes, I agree. F6 is definitely interesting, but I still think it's very, very tough. You can just back up your queen anywhere. Maybe here, for example. Or that there as well. No, I don't want to move there because maybe I'm blocking my bishop. So maybe I'll back up a bit more. Maybe here. So my bishop has squares, you know. And maybe bring my rook in. Oh no, but then here that's g5. Or maybe even g6. Or g6 does this. And it still looks there's still initiative. Is g5 better? Can you continue the attack here?
I guess f4 and you vaguely have something.
Oh yeah, f4. Makes sense. So white is still very much better here.
Yeah.
Because you have to give up you can't really defend the G pawn anymore, right? There's no way to defend the G pawn.
I think you just have to run.
As compared to earlier variations where f6 looks scary, I agree. Because previously the f6 was more of a situational move that only worked in that position because it had the urgency of attacking the knight. Whereas here f6 is more of a, you know what, queen is defending the dark squares, rook is defending the 7 rank kind of deal. So it looks more normal. Okay. Instead, knight d5 was played, trying to attack the rook over here, but hanging this bishop instead. Was it found?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was found. Rook takes e2. So now, Hobby Pizza is up a knight. Oh, I
And
guess that's
threatening
how they
something
won.
like this.
I guess that's how they won. G5 was played, trying to crack things
Ew.
open.
And that's a free queen.
Yep.
Just a free queen. And
White
white response.
designs.
Ah,
Note
yeah.
that Tabi still at 8 minutes on the clock. So don't
This was a
spend
very
2 minutes.
interesting attack, but it's just like
Yeah, it was a very interesting attack, very complicated position as well. But surprised to see
yeah,
that it
the
spent so
moment the
long.
attack stopped, like it just turned
It
into gas
just
the elo.
yeah. Yeah, so the moral of the story is don't play bullet in rapid. Just don't play bullet in
Unless you're
rapid.
significantly higher rated than your opponent.
Or if you are Chris Chu or something. But then Chris Chu will give away time in the beginning as well.
Yeah.
And if you don't know how to play slower in long games, then fortunately for you, there is a Singaporean candidate master, Azel Chua, who made a YouTube video today that does address this issue, which I'll share in the chat, which is tips on how to play slower in long chess games. Yeah, it's like
My
trans.
problem isn't playing slow. My problem is that the slower I play, the worse I play.
I can understand that because like your focus and your stuff and that
No, I just
is
somehow
poor.
managed to find like the stupidest moves.
You
It's
have
really
enough
funny.
time to
It's
not
like
rely on
Gotham
your
Chess,
safe.
he goes, I have an idea, and then he plays the worst move ever.
I think Gotham Chess is
It's the same.
like I guess I shouldn't comment on that, but maybe I should. I think Gotham Chess is just he just doesn't calculate that. Like he finds interesting ideas, he finds strong ideas, but he doesn't. I don't think he has the knowledge or the calculation ability to back it up yet. I feel like
No, but I think nowadays he's like doing what I do, which is just like he sees like the normal person move, and then he just like pulls the stupidest thing ever.
just because it looks nicer,
Yeah,
but
or he
hopefully,
just like thinks it's funny or something.
yeah. But if he wants to try and get to grandmaster, then stuff.
Yeah, I think he's like pretty depressed like in the last few tournaments he's been playing.
It's understandable why he's performing that way, and it's understandable why he's depressed as well. But we won't go too much into that. On a side note, just looking at this position, knight f6 at some point might be very interesting. Never mind. Either way, let's go on to the next game. There was a pretty wild game. I forgot which game it was. Um, I think it was in the semifinals or something. Maybe
Where are the semifinals? Last
semifinals
four
are
matches.
semifinals are from chapter 17 onwards. I think.
Okay.
I don't remember which game it was. It was a very up and down game. Like I remember some
Do you
piece.
remember the opening?
Also, I don't remember. It was pretty crazy because at the end, all of a sudden, somebody was super dominating, and then somehow end up getting mate, hanging a mate in four or mate in five or something like that.
Wait, was it?
I think it's this game.
Okay, wait, let me look at the ending. Nope.
Yeah, I think it's this game. Yeah. This game.
Oh no.
It was kind of crazy. So this is still
Okay.
in the quarterfinals, I think. Um, Jennifer Rice against Vadim. Um, yeah, let's take a look at how it went. It was pretty up and down. Despite the rating differential, right, this was kind of competitive in a very swingy sense. So let's take a look at the game. E4, E6, we see another French. C4 going for a sort of auto schnapp
Ooh.
variation. And then we see d6. It's like, you know what, I'm not going to give you your auto snap. But the nice thing about auto snap is that it transposes very nicely into the main lines of the hippo as well. So d4 was played, b6, and we go into a very generic setup. We see a hippo. This is all very nothing worth commentating on at this point until here. This move d5 was a major mistake
Yeah, because this bishop is
because
now dead.
yeah, the bishop is dead and it's also pushing when the pawn is already on c4. So if the pawn was on c4, if the pawn was on c2, then I think d5 is fine. But definitely not here when white is already has the brick prepared for you to build the structure to break. You know.
Yeah, normally you want to play like this.
So instead we see like c takes d5, e takes d5. If you take the bishop, then you're just going to get bishop check with this and this, and you're going to
You
suffer.
will suffer.
Yeah, this bishop is now dead. White has space
Just queen
advantage.
b3
You have
probably.
holes and things like that.
Queen b3 and it's already just like not easy to defend that pawn. B3, sorry.
Queen b3 is a move. Rook e1 is also a move to just kill the king.
Mm,
because there's you need to spend time and stuff. But we see still a very well played opening from Jennifer Rice. We see e takes d5, e6, sacrificing a pawn, but opening up a
I
lot of
guess for rookie
very
one.
dangerous stuff. Yeah, rookie one comes in, very nice idea. See queen to e7, trying to defend, but defending with a
Mm.
queen is not the best idea because
Especially when
of
you're pinning your queen to your king.
yeah. Here there's a very nice move that Jennifer Rice failed to find, which is knight to b5, taking advantage of the fact that the queen just left, and also setting up some very nice forks. The nice thing about this move is that you can't really play a5 here because you
Yeah,
would
because it's
lose
just a
this,
free
right?
material.
And if you play rook to c8, you can
You lose that.
play. You can either take the pawn, or you can continue with your with the previous idea of knight g5 and adding more pressure here. Also, there's one other line that I saw. Wait, what was the other sign that I saw here? After this, I think queen back. No, not queen back. What was the line that I saw? Uh, or maybe not here. Maybe not here. Maybe in a different variation. There's a different move. But okay, here knight g5 was played instead, adding pressure instantly. Knight to f8, defending the pawn. I think it's here. Yeah, I think it's here. Here there's knight b5 again, for the same reasons with additional spicy move, because now it looks like you can play a6 because your queen is defending. But then there's a very nice move. Knight takes e6, knight takes e6, and now you can play rook takes e6. You can't capture the queen because the queen was defending this square, and if you take the queen, you can do a royal fork and win the whole house. So this was an additional resource that knight b5 had. But knight b5 is the kind of move that if you see it, you will play it. If you don't see it, you won't ever play it. So instead, the option that Juniper Rice chooses to add more pressure onto the e pawn is to play queen to e2. Unfortunately, this is the same problem as queen e7 before, because putting your queen on the forefront isn't really the best idea unless you're checkmating the king or if you're trying to trick queens. So this made it's kind of you're sort of giving up two tempi in essentially you're giving up two tempi,
Mm.
and the pawn is a lot more secure than it was before. We see bishop takes d4 here. Black even is feeling brave enough to capture a pawn. We see knight takes e6, but let's see, knight takes e6, knight takes e6, queen takes e6, queen takes e6, rook takes e6.
You
I
just
think to
bring your king up.
f7, yeah, you have to retreat your rook somewhere, and now black is the one who is up a pawn with a space advantage and a lead in development with a nice bishop pair that's soon to come out.
Mm.
So rook f8 here was played to add a lot of pressure to
Okay,
the
makes
f2
sense.
pawn. Yeah, and then now bishop to e3, trading off the pawns. It's sort of curious to see. Okay, you can't really capture the rook because of this. So I guess you're forced to take back the f pawn, and now you don't even have the advantage of having a better structure anymore. So maybe retreating to the f2 square in anticipation of this is probably better. But what has happened has happened. So rook f8, bishop here, trade f takes e3, king to c8, getting the king to safety and preparing to play this endgame. So a to c1, lining up the rook with the king into an open, semi-open file. See knight to f6, jumping in maybe to trade pieces. Yeah, here as well. Knight b5, but this is a lot of moves too late. c5, following through with the plan, preparing to play something like d4 soon, maybe. See knight takes a7, winning a pawn, but king after king b8. King b8 is
King B is
fine.
probably weird. I think you just like bring your king in is probably a bit better.
Yeah, I think bring it because it's like really the end game.
Yeah, you might as well bring your king.
It does make sense. You want to force the knight away, but then the knight is sort of stranded here on b7 on the first day, so you kind of want to leave it there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, the move is still understandable. You don't really want to play this because then this comes back a check. So that's why you
Mm-hmm.
play something like king to d7, hold everything, getting out of the way of the rook and stuff. Uh, Instead, after king to a7, king b8 was played, knight back to b5. We see bishop to a6, so a pin. A4 was played to defend the knight. C4 to, I guess, taking next turn, pushing the bishop back, disconnecting the bishop from the defense of the knight, and then okay, bishop takes, and now you have double pawns. So I guess that was what Black was going after. So now I would expect something like maybe king to b7, and then putting the rooks to attack the pawn or something like that. Since the bishop
Mm-hmm.
can't really access the pawn, so I guess that's Black's idea.
Yeah, no, White's idea is to somehow get rid of this.
Yeah, somehow open things up with this or this maybe. Um, Rook to e8 was played, putting pressure on the pawn here, so not allowing the rooks to leave that early. G3 was played, a bit questionable because this sort of encourages this move, right? I guess
Yeah.
it's just to allow counterplay this way.
Mm.
Hmm. Because this diagonal is dead, so you're trying to relocate to a different diagonal. Rook h to f8. Okay, not really making sense because okay, we often say that you want to bring your rooks to open files, and that's because rooks can do lots of things on open files. But the thing is, it doesn't really collaborate with any of the plans in the position. The weaknesses here are the double pawns and this isolated e pawn here on e3. So the two ideas that you can go for are either to go after the e pawn with something like a double stacking, or you might want to go for the other plan with this maybe and put pressure on this pawn.
Yeah.
So this improving move doesn't really make that much sense in my opinion. We see rook c to d1, now putting pressure onto this pawn, getting ready to play bishop to g2 and really amp up the pressure. So you can see that the tide sort of turning here. Still rook to c8. Hmm. I guess preparing to push her in anticipation of this maybe. Not too sure what this move does. Bishop to g2. Now two pieces attacking here, and one of the rooks will have to defend the pawn. Rook c5. Okay, so now we see a sort of a wishy-washy uh, decision making. And now the rook is going after this pawn.
I guess we go like here to
Yeah,
try
now
and
you go
take
there
this.
to threaten this. Yeah. So e4 was played, however, that I don't think is that nice. Maybe rook to f1 is much better because it comes with a very little threat.
Yeah, and you're
Um,
also not like destroying your already terrible structure even more.
yeah. And here, the thing is, you can't really capture here, right? Because you can take.
You can just take with like probably bishop, so you can try and take here as well.
Hmm. The point is, if you can't really take back, because if you take back, then you lose. So that is probably why rook f1 is better move. But okay, after this move, that's it. Okay, it's trying to trade things off. I guess trading off a weakness is good. After takes, d takes, rook takes, then rook takes here
But the
maybe.
thing is, you don't have to take this immediately.
Then what do you want to play?
Bring the other rook. Bring something to like.
If you
Okay,
bring the
probably
other rook,
like.
I will get scared.
Okay, so what if we play like this to defend this so we can take? Because after like takes, this still is a problem.
Fair enough.
And then you lose the c file. I really don't want to lose the c file.
Fair enough. I don't think this past pawn is enough, right? Because if you try to give up this pawn for this pawn, it's not enough. Yeah. Okay. Um, it's unpleasant, I guess. But
Yeah.
instead, Black takes back with the pawn instead of taking back with the knight. So now black is the one with a worse structure, kind of.
I guess the idea is like if no, there is no idea. What is the idea?
I don't know. Not wanting to trade pieces, but this knight
I
isn't
guess
really
that
that
maybe
stable.
like if you want to bait like bishop takes and like pin. Like, that doesn't even do anything.
Yeah,
Because the rook's defended.
I guess. Yeah, I don't know. But if the pawn wasn't taken, oh wait, the pawn was taken. Okay, the pawn was taken. Rook takes b5. Huh.
Some tactic.
Bishop c6. Going back. Why not take? Why not just take the pawn? It's free. And now you can push and have down
Mm,
two connected passes.
it does look dangerous though. So we're gonna play like not that, this. Undo my arrow.
I think rook to e7 here is fine because the knight is holding the d7 square, so you can't really double on the 7 rank. And your
No,
knight is
but
also holding the
oh,
pawn.
but there's this idea of rook b7, and then rook a1, rook down.
I guess you can prevent that by playing rook a2. Then if you let's say you check, then you can just go to c8. Then there's nothing. You can take the pawn.
No, you can't take. Is there a
If
fault?
you go here, then you defend everything. Then this
Ah,
is advanced pawn, but nothing major. It's a very loose pawn.
wait, ah, so after rook a2, everything is a draw, but rook a2 is the only move.
Yeah, you have to see the threat.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is definitely dangerous. Yeah, makes sense. Okay, it's more dangerous than I thought. Okay, but instead rook to c5 was straight chasing the bishop out of the way. My guess is preparing to play this and just make a single pass pawn with the rook behind the pass pawn. So rook bishop to g2, b5. We do initiate b5, so anticipating like just creating a pass pawn, putting the rooks behind and playing a very safe game.
Mm-hmm.
Rook to f1, pinning the knight. You see b4 following the plan. Rook to c1, trying to prevent that from happening. But it's g5. I
I
guess
mean,
worthy to
g5
note is that
it's
value
not
has half the
bad, but it's
time.
just like
It's like
not
why?
nonsensical.
What is the
Just
purpose
like
of the move?
waste time. I don't know. I just like play knight d7 and trade off the rooks.
I don't understand. So I don't know what's the point of
Yeah,
g5.
probably low time, so just no time to think.
Maybe. So
3
g5 was
seconds, so
played,
yeah,
and
probably
then
just blitzed out g5.
b3. I don't like b3 to help create a pass pawn. c3, which was played, and now black has a protected pass pawn. Bishop to f3. My guess is trying to blockade by obstructing the rook.
Mm-hmm.
You see rook to d8, so trying to get in on the other side. Bishop to d1. This I don't like at all.
Well, at least, I think you should go here. Like cut the rook off from the pawn, or just get in front of it.
Actually, by this point, it's already too late because there's no way to stop the pawns
Yeah,
already.
that's the entire problem with b3, I guess.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So here at this point, it's already kind of too late. If we play here, um, mm, you can't push yet. You don't want to push yet. Maybe rook to d2. Then if
Okay,
here,
what if we
then this.
check king c7 check here take and def somewhere down there, I guess.
You check. Let's just move anywhere. Um, what do you do to defend against this? Okay, let's say you keep
If
checking,
that's the
maybe you can hide
mm,
here. If you check some
okay.
more, but you can't check some more because your knight is protected. So if you take,
C2.
then now you can play c2 and you play rook d1. Then it's lights out.
And you can't defend both.
Yeah, and you don't have bishop to b3 because your pawns are b3. Okay. So this is
Interesting.
very dangerous for white now. Rook bishop d1, try to control this square, but
I
it's
think
not.
B3 was just the killer move. Because engine says it's an inaccuracy, but there's basically one line that survives after B3.
Yeah, it's very hard to play for white because of the protected pass pawn. This makes things very easy.
Apparently after C3, the only move is rook A1. I guess trying to go here.
Hmm. Not sure. I
This is the only
see.
thing.
I think it's trying to eventually double up, maybe. Oh yeah, with the conjunction of this, trade things off, right?
I guess this is like the only thing that might be able to survive.
And even then, it still looks very tough, right?
Uh, let's see. After
Like let's say
this,
you just run, but you don't want to get checked there because you can always hide, right? You always hide. There's no bishop here. Then
here's
after
a
the dust
ridiculous
settles,
line.
it's going to be very easy for black to play. RIP Zostakyun.
Like let me just show you like the line another 10 moves in the future. Yeah,
Oh, so
this is apparently the
perpetual.
yeah, this is apparently the only thing that white can do.
It's
And
not
if you don't
easy.
find that, and no one's finding that, I'm not finding that, then you die.
Yeah, I don't think Valiant will be. I don't think Jennifer Eyes will be able to find that.
Like Magnus Carlsen could find this if you gave him like 20 minutes, maybe.
Maybe not 20 minutes now, but
It depends on if you've seen this before. If you've seen this before, I mean, like, sure, lah, but
I think it's not engine level crazy, but it's definitely crazy for our level for sure.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Back to real life, I guess. Instead, bishop to f3 was played here, and then rook to d8 here, and then we now see rook to e5 instead. Interesting. Um, dominating the
Logical.
e-pawn. Yeah, it's logical because the bishop is blocking, then you can't really push a pawn, so there's no need to really defend the pawn. It's defended by another pawn anyway, so it's fine. Rook c to d1. This is death. This is certain death
Ugh. Yeah, just trade
because
everything
just
off.
trade everything off. Or not even trading everything off. Wow. If rook takes, then you would trade, and then we will see
Yeah,
something
this is probably
like
your best chance to hold.
it's still terrible, right? You still have
It's
this.
terrible, but it's like your best chance.
You can't take because you make a queen.
Yeah.
So you have to keep your bishop there. You have to try and get your king in over there in
No, no, no,
time.
that loses your bishop.
But what else can you play? This is coming either way. If you go, you can't go here either. It's protected by a knight. There's no moves. There are no moves. You have to play here because you have
I
to
don't think
get
you're
your king
stopping it.
closer. Then I guess you just trade. Then you move your king in. And then
Yeah.
say that this trade is something you can never contend with.
Yeah, there's just no way to stop the pawn.
Yeah. But instead, bishop takes, which is even worse, I think, because after oh shoot, my bad.
It's fine,
Uh,
it's fine. Yeah, fine.
okay, thanks. So after trading, rook to d2. Now there's nothing stopping c2. Um, h3 was played. I guess white is sort of having no hope here. Knight to e4, attacking everything. Rook check,
F8,
just
King
run, just run, just
C7,
run, just
7,
run.
D6.
There's no more checks, and then now c2 comes in. Sacrifice the bishop for the pawn. Pin the knight,
D1,
just win the other
D2.
pawn. Chase the rook away, win the pawn. Oh, but I don't like that though. This why is this
No, low
unnecessarily
time, low
messy?
time.
Oh yeah, 23 seconds. Okay, understand. I was thinking just check. And whatever
Yeah,
you
check
move,
is probably
you
just
can always have time to
immediately
come here.
winning.
Yeah, okay, you come here.
Yeah, and then you can probably just bring your king in at mate.
Only move, then just you can mate as well.
Yeah, it's probably a mate somewhere.
But okay, instead rook takes h3. Uh, rook there, threatening this, I guess. Check,
Mm.
just run, just run. Oh, I don't like hiding in front of the pawn.
I mean, when
I
you're on
think
low time, you have to hide from checks.
yeah, but this should be
I guess
instinctual.
probably you play this and remove this.
Yeah. But anyway, there king g4, trying to trade rooks. Oh
Ew,
no!
yike. What do you do?
Knight hangs with check. Of course, black is still winning because the pass pawn can't be stopped. But unfortunately, right, because of low time, this is something that should be pre-moved, I guess, because it just makes things easier. One less pawn to care
Yeah,
about. Because after here, the low time
you
situation, we
have
can
to
see
come
that
back.
this is all pre-moved. Black lost no time. Then we see unfortunate mouse slip, I guess. Queen d1.
I don't think this is a mouse slip
Maybe
because you
just trying
just
to
pre-move
check.
coming. You know the pawn's about to promote, so you just
Yeah,
pre-move
that's
coming
the
back.
pre-move, but it's either a mouse slip or maybe black isn't used to playing bullet or something like that. But okay, queen
Yeah,
d1
probably.
trying to check king. Now white has the queen of their own, and the very dangerous thing about this,
Yeah,
especially why I said
black
you need to pre-move
is
this, is because if the queen
900
trade
bullet.
happens, yeah, if queen trade happens, then you're going to be a pawn down. You're going to lose the game. So that's why I said you have to pre-move this move, because if it's just a queen against a queen, you can still get a draw. So queen d8, one move too late, just lost here. That resigns with 5 seconds left on the clock. All of this was pre-move.
Man.
So I think this is because Vadim is not used to playing bullet. Because you know how you play
Yeah.
bullet, you always have to make a move beforehand, right? So I think what happened was here, this move was played then Vadim pre-move Queen D1, right?
I
Vadim pre-move
think
here.
just didn't like count the number of squares, which is fair enough. You don't have time to count.
I think it's like you see the pawn is here, then he sees this because it's like here, right? Pre-move this, then you
Mm.
see the pawn here. So you think that, oh, after I move here, I want to pre-move here to prevent promotion.
The thing is in bullet is that
Then it comes one move
yeah,
too late because it's a pre-move.
your instinct is normally to pre-move checks. So I probably wouldn't count the squares either, but what would happen is I pre-move this, right, because it's a check. And then while my opponent thinks I will realize, oh, this is hanging, so I pre-move this.
Yeah.
And then worst case scenario, I just take this and get a draw.
Mm. But yeah, that's why I mentioned that maybe Vadim is not that used to
No,
playing
no, definitely not.
playing bullet.
967 bullet.
Yeah. Can tell. So yeah, this was one of the games I wanted to look at. And
That was interesting.
I don't think there's anything else to be honest.
We can look at the bronze medal match then.
A bronze medal match is the last 4 games. The last 3 games actually.
That was a
Mayor
complete
versus
domination, actually.
Tabi. Yeah. Last 3 games it was a 3-0 win by Tabi. So they got third place with 1 month Discord Nitro or something like that.
Discord Classic, I believe, for third place.
I think it's like 1 month for third and fourth, right? One is Nitro, one is Classic. Then
No, but I
the
thought it's 1 month Discord Nitro for second place.
oh then maybe it's 1 month, 2 month Classic, then 1 month, 2 month Nitro. From fourth to first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then if quarterfinalists get the title.
Mm.
Okay. Let's look at the bronze medal match. So Mayor versus Tabi. We see C4, Mayor's signature English. C E6, okay. C3, D5, going for a trying to transpose the Queen's Gambit decline. C takes D5, E takes D5, G3, trying to go into some sort of Catalan. F6, Bishop G2, C5, E3, D4. Well spotted, I guess, from Tabi. This is taking advantage of the fact that there are squares in
Yeah,
white's
it's a very
position.
tricky move.
Yeah, not if not careful, this might just kill the dark square bishop here. E takes d4, c takes d4, knight has to move, knight e4 was chosen. We don't see a trade, instead we see knight c6 because I guess not wanting to allow the light square bishop to reign dominance,
And I
trying
guess
to
not this.
block everything and also allow the light square bishop to develop. So we see d3 over here defending the knight and also allowing the dark square bishop to develop. We see bishop to f5 attacking the knight, trying to win the pawn, knight to e2, but I think this gives up the pawn, right? No, this doesn't give up a pawn. This doesn't give up a pawn. Because if you take you don't want to give up the bishop, so you take the pawn. Then maybe here, then f3 maybe, and back.
Castles, I guess. And just play chess.
Yeah, but then this is a bit.
I don't know. Yeah, the problem here is that black is not castling
But
this
this
way.
is
If black
hanging as
castles that
well.
way, you can.
Oh no, this is not hanging, sorry. Queen is defending.
If black castles this way, like you can excuse this, just like play all this, you know. But black's probably gonna castle queen seven.
Okay. Instead, here it wasn't taken. Instead, bishop to b4 check was played, taking advantage of the fact that you can't really put a knight there because there's a pawn in the way. But I don't really like it that much because after bishop to d2, bishop takes d2, I was under the assumption that you don't want to trade dark square bishops.
I guess the problem is with the alternatives.
I mean, the
Because what
alternative
other
was to
move can
take.
you
I think I
play?
preferred taking. Like to see the line that we saw just now.
Uh,
But I guess this makes sense as well. Like the last square bishop is about to develop, might as well get rid of it now. Uh,
just trade everything.
taking the bishop I don't like
Cast.
though. This I definitely don't like.
Yeah, you're giving up any chance of winning.
Yeah, especially because you want to trade. You have to trade the left square bishop for the white side square bishop. Without the left square bishop, it's going to be very difficult to get rid of it. Bishop takes e4, pawn takes d4, castles. Castles
This
as
is
well.
essentially white just giving up any hope of playing for win. I mean, this is a very dry position.
Yeah, I agree. Rook to e8, rook a to d1, knight takes e4.
Why would you give up a
I
Ah,
mean, you can't really defend it, so
true.
I guess you can't really defend it because if you play something like this, trying to play this, I don't think it works as well, right? Knight takes here. Can play here. Oh, but then you can just retreat on knight, right? What's wrong with this retreating on knight? Oh, wait, wait. Oh, so actually there's a nice move here. You can play knight to g5, so that if you try and take, then you have this move.
That's cool.
So knight here is probably better than knight c6, knight f6. Yeah. So I guess maybe that's a slightly better variation. Maybe if you go rook e1, interesting.
Mm.
Might be an interesting move. Leave some winning chances. But rook a d1 is very very dry. Gives up that pawn. Queen to d3, knight to c5, queen to c4,
Ugh.
to f5.
A queen
Um,
c4 and you probably
this
win
is
back the
probably
pawn
better.
somewhere, right?
Here you get this. Do you play here?
No,
No,
then you just
no,
bishop takes
because you
knight and then
lose
you
here.
take back the pawn.
So you have to play. You have to defend with your queen like this.
But then you just
No, you
lose the
lose the
pawn.
pawn. So what do you play?
Mm.
You attack the knight, but you can just give up. You can attack the knight here. And there's this, but then you defend here. So maybe queen takes, and you play here. This maybe. Play something like this.
Yeah, this is still dry. Nothing has changed.
I can agree with that. Okay, but instead, queen to f5 was played.
Queen f5. The thing is, like, what is queen f5? Why? Isn't your entire idea to target this pawn?
You just want to get away, I guess. Because if you don't play queen c4, then you're not playing any move to attack the pawn.
But I
There's no
mean,
other
like,
move you
rook
can play.
ad1 is just... Rook ad1 was to, like, try and regain the pawn here, right?
Yeah,
And then you just take your defender and put it...
but
Mm.
either way, this is a good
Not to
example of
mention you
why the
hang a
queen,
piece.
the queen is not a good blockading,
Okay,
not
I
a good
guess you
blockading
have to...
piece. Yeah. It's trying to counter attack the knight, right?
Mm. But then you interpose.
Yeah, you interpose, then you're forced to go queen g4 to counter
Because,
the knight.
and then you're not... You're
Attack
pretty
for
much never
all.
getting this back.
You can defend still.
Yeah, but then you're never getting this back.
But now I can play
So you're just
d3
down a pawn.
now.
Ah. Yeah, but in general, I think you're just down a pawn. Too bad.
This is much better for black, I think.
Yeah, black's up a pawn.
All
Very
the
far
pieces
past
are
pawn.
centralized. The pawn is well guarded.
Probably can play something like this and this.
You want to put your pawns on the d file. It works on d file.
True.
Okay,
Still need
but
to move your queen, so maybe like here or here.
wait, rook e5 was found. Rook e5 was found.
Oh, okay. Queen f4. Hanging a piece
The
now.
piece is hanging though. It wasn't found.
Ooh.
Trying to. This is what happens when you try to interpose a bit too much. Try to position through a bit too much. Queen d2. So now you just lost all of your progress. We're back to square
I
one.
guess you have the extra pawn, that's all you can say.
This was a very fancy maneuver. The
It
rhombus,
shouldn't have worked, but it did.
a parallelogram maneuver. So you see d3 here, interesting, but now it's not so
But now you can
pointed.
just block it.
Yeah, I can just blockade. You see knight f3,
Not a
knight
fan, probably
f4,
here.
but now I can just take. Yeah, I was thinking that as well. Does
It's
does
just the more natural
does
square.
does Tabi take? Tabi does take. Actually, I wouldn't even mind something like this, so you can attack it more. But yeah,
True.
this is like the worst knight move besides giving up for free.
I think both sides have no idea how to handle isolated queen spawn positions.
Probably. Yeah. So knight takes f4, queen takes f4, queen to d6.
Hmm.
Self-pinning.
Is there not some kind of like tactic?
I don't know about tactic, but the most obvious thing is that you can take here, and then what black is forced to take the pawn.
And then you can take. And now
Yeah,
you have the pawn back.
and you have a better structure as well. Lesser pawn
And you have
damage.
ideas of back rank me.
Yeah,
So that's
which
like
you
nice.
have already handled on your side. So I think this is
So
slightly
just
better
black
for
plays
white.
g6.
Then you can play rook e1. Everything is under control. And you will, or maybe not even rook e1, you can even play rook c1 if you want to, I think. But rook c1 is troublesome. I prefer rook e1. But yeah,
Yeah.
instead, bishop to e4 was played, but that is not a move you play when you don't
My
have any
only question is like,
blockading.
why?
Yeah,
Okay, you can't push it right now, but
you
like,
can't. But
oh,
what
that's
you can
cute.
do is take advantage of the fact that your pieces are very, very intangible. G5, rook e3. You play this? No, because you take your check. Um,
I guess like rook here.
Here. Wait, actually, you can defend here. What's the difference between this and this? You play f3 here. Here, oh, here there's f5 because you defend the pawn. Here you can play f3 because you lose the pawn
Ah,
check.
yeah, okay.
So you have to play queen here to defend the pawn first. I don't need that fine. But instead, g5 was played. What the hell?
Okay. I like it.
Pardon my outburst, but what the hell? g5 was
G5, Queen
played.
G5.
Queen g4. Isn't
And now
this
you can
a
push this.
fork?
Eh?
No, no, you can't
No,
play
because
this
you lose the
because.
pawn check.
But you can play.
You lose the pawn check.
Yeah, right, right. You can play this, chase back, and then do the same thing maybe. Or like you mentioned, actually, I think you're right. You can just push
Yeah, just push
d2.
the pawn.
Yeah, just push
Because
d2.
there's nothing stopping.
Just push d2.
And now you can probably bring something here and shove your rook down here.
Yep. Shove it down the e file. Instead, knight b4 was played defending the pawn. It makes sense, but it also opens up a tactic here. Not sure if it's worth
The,
going for though.
for now.
Oh no, sorry. I'm blind.
We're just a3 and it probably has to go back.
Wait, actually now wait. Hmm.
Now black just doesn't have enough tempo to defend
Wait,
this.
actually no.
There's just not enough tempo.
Let's say you go
You need
here,
the extra move.
here, here. Do you have threats? No. Oh, the knight doesn't do anything. Never mind. I was getting excited for no reason. Yeah, you probably have to go back. Never mind.
It's just
A3
a
was
waste of
played.
time.
Okay, sorry, knight c6.
C6.
Rook
Now the
takes.
pawn's back.
Queen d7, putting pressure on the bishop. Defend the bishop. Attack more. Wait,
Wait.
what?
Is there a fork now? Now there's a fork though. You self-pin.
Yeah. I mean, there's a check
Question is,
here.
can you...
There's a check here. Do you give this up?
Okay. No. Wait, actually you can. You come out of up a piece.
Yeah, you can actually take. Because the queen is still under attack. So the check doesn't really do anything. The check doesn't really do anything.
But I mean, it's basically the only thing you have. Because it's either that or lose a rook.
I mean, you can just lose the bishop, right? Right.
The
And you
problem comes with
just
like, what do you lose after you lose the
go
bishop?
back, f takes, and I don't know, this or something.
Yeah, no. I think the other way is better. Just go down a piece. Rook knight versus rook. If you manage to trade off all the pawns, you can still barely hold the draw.
Oh yeah, because you're giving out a piece anyway, right?
Yeah. So you might as well get the queens off. Then you're not gonna get mated.
Okay, so queen after queen one, rook e8 was played, putting more pressure.
Mm-hmm.
But now this doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, because you can just move out of the way.
Yeah, queen h. Oh my bad, I pressed
It's
the
fine.
wrong button.
I am almost there.
Okay, now
A bit
after
too far. Ah, here we go.
after here, doesn't the piece just hang after queen h5?
Yes.
It's threatening
actually.
mate, but it just hangs the bishop. It was played. Rook takes e4, rook takes e4, queen takes e4. Now attacking the rook still. You can take the pawn
the
into
check
check,
first.
but it wasn't played. Instead, rook e3 was played to chase the queen back. Rook b1 check was played. King g2. Now we see
Gave
a
free, I
trade.
gave free,
Once again, you can
and you lose
check
everything.
and take to preserve your structure, but it wasn't found. So f takes e3 was straight instead. Queen takes b2 comes with check now.
And
King
white
h3,
loses
king
just
f6.
everything. Okay.
Yeah, and this was pretty
Just
routine. Let's just skip through the rest of the game,
push
very
these two.
standard. Bring a king forward, push the
Jump to the
pawn.
promotion.
Yeah,
There
very
it is.
clean conversion from Terminator. Um, Let me just quickly scroll through the games to see if anything is interesting. Can you look at the second game to
Okay, I'll turn off sync. Hang on.
I'll check a look at the third game. Mm,
Interesting.
speed through the rules. See if there's
We did
anything.
get somewhat of a Scotch main line.
We have seen that before.
Oh, never mind, someone blundered a piece. And then a fork, like, immediately after.
Okay, this one was a queen blunder instead. It's even worse. Never mind. This was a free queen. Yep. So I guess there's no more games to look at.
And then another piece. Yep. Blundered, like, what, 8 points of material and just resigned.
Okay. Yeah. This isn't much to look at as well. So I
We
think
can talk
that's
openings, I guess,
it.
for fun.
Yeah, we can. But let's just close the chapter for our.
Right, Ponk, we finished. We
Yeah,
actually did it.
we finally finished the madness. We have finally done it after months, 3 months I think, three
Just in
months
time for the next tournament.
or 4 months of streaming. Um, the tournament lasted 2 months as well, and soon we are going to have another 2 month tournament. Uh,
You
so
know, maybe if I feel like it, I'll stream like me playing the games live. But that's about it.
yeah, so if you are in Guracord or any of the whole life Discord channels, keep an eye out. Flare is actually going through. I know we have said it a lot of times already, but
We
previously,
do actually have confirmation now.
yeah, we actually have confirmation now. We have seen the documents. The thing now is just the final formalities, and whenever Flare feels like it, I guess. The next event for the channel will be the chess tournament. So get ready for that.
Uh,
We'll be
it will
inviting,
be at the end of January, I believe.
yeah, somewhere around there. We will be inviting several other channels as well. I'm not sure if the invite list is too different from the Atlantean chess tournaments invite list. I think it's roughly the same channels, but not as many servers. I think, if I remember correctly.
I have it. ADB, Mume Court, Crony Court, Fauna Court, Marine Court, HEFS, and IRYS. I don't know how
Oh,
to pronounce that.
Iris.
Iris?
Yeah, Iris stage. Also, actually, that's pretty much the same. I think.
It
Let me.
sounds shorter, but I don't remember the
Yeah, it sounds
previous
shorter,
one.
but I
I mean,
think
it's probably a decent. Probably
uh
be okay.
in this tournament, Amelia's detective
Ah,
bureau
yeah.
wasn't invited, so one less server. Yep. So that's all for the United Chess Tournament 2021, and we can talk about some openings, I guess.
Sure.
Uh, oh
I
yeah,
mean,
if
is Lex still here?
I'm not sure, I can only see two people still here.
Like, if you're still here, say something in chat.
Please. Also, Takyun, if you're also still here, I remember you mentioned that you wanted some games in the Agamemnon style format. Please DM me, or yeah, just DM me and let me know which games, which chapter or
Mm-hmm.
which game
And
or whatever
from
would
here,
like
we
a
can
look
see
at.
that we have a completely new position. Yes.
Yeah. So just let me know which position that you want me to look, or which game you want me to look at, and I'll churn something out if I'm free. But okay, I still haven't seen anything in chat. So what openings you want to look at? Let's go to a new blank.
Okay.
I'm just gonna open a new chapter. Okay, I'll delete the chapter
Okay.
afterwards. Um, okay, just name it after party.
Okay, what openings are there? I mean, I have like a pile of really, really dubious openings. If anyone's interested.
I mean, you mentioned to lag about the Albin Countergambit, right?
Okay, sure. We can talk about the Albin.
So the Albin is just d4, d5, c4, e5,
And
right?
then this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
This is the
this is
Albin
gonna be
Albin.
fun. Okay, so the entire point is after takes, you're not gonna like take this back, right? You're gonna play this. And basically the point is you're trying to stop white from developing. And you're opening up this diagonal, which is pretty cool. So I guess we can talk about the bird trap. Is it no the last Lasker trap, I believe.
Is it the promote on night one?
Yeah, this one.
Ah, yeah, this was nice. Bishop to e4 check, right?
The
Right? No.
yeah, bishop b4 check first, and
e4
then
check
after this
first.
you just hang your bishop.
Yeah, hang the bishop.
And basically the point is after takes you take, and you realize that the king is the only thing defending the queen.
So you
And
have
the thing
to.
about the nice thing is after this, hanging on to the queen, we take, right? But we promote to a knight.
Yeah, these are the coolest opening traps.
So if we take with a queen, right, you realize that after
Oh,
like takes
you just
takes
trade.
takes you lose everything,
It's
right?
soft.
So
Yeah.
but we take with a knight, and you see it's check.
And I think the
And
line is not to take back the knight actually.
no, if you take back the knight, then the point is that you want to stop the knight coming here. Let's see, in this position, right? Let's say we check because we want to win the queen, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then there's this knight. The knight just pops out.
Mm-hmm.
So after you lose the knight,
You don't
if
want to
you
take back.
take, then now we have check because there's no knight to get in the way.
Yep. So you want to retreat back to e1.
Yeah, and then you're just like down basically everything.
But I guess you can still go queen check, right?
Yeah, queen check is fine.
Then you can't really play g3 because that's queen e4.
Queen e4. So I guess we just run and then.
You can't really save the knight anymore.
Everything wins though. I mean, we're up like a p. Let's go knight. Knight c6. Hit the bishop first.
Okay.
Let's see. What do we play?
Let's say if we just the most natural move, just retreat.
Is there some check? King's kind of low on squares. What if we? No, queen blocks. No, not queen blocks. Bishop blocks. There's no. Bishop g4. So there's no
Okay, we just move the queen.
castles,
Okay, I'm convinced now.
and you die. Like
Yeah,
I think that's made somewhere.
This is very dead.
It's probably made somewhere. For one, you can't even protect the queen. So
This is super dead because the thing is, you're going to die.
yeah, and for one, you're just gonna lose the queen next move.
I don't think you want to.
Oh wait, no, never mind. The bishop holds, but yeah, that's probably made somewhere here.
Yeah. Okay.
Either you
so
get mated or you just like lose everything.
This is the
Did not get
main
mated.
trap, right? The main trap.
Yeah, this is the big trap. But the proper way to play is either with
A3, right?
A3 and knight here.
I
In
think
some
A3
model.
is the safer one.
No, I believe knight F3 is the safer. Most people play knight F3.
Oh. I mean, knight 3 is very natural for sure. To be
So
honest,
after knight F3, we're just gonna.
wait, have you ever gotten the big trap before? Have you ever gotten something with the E3?
When I was like 1600, yeah, sure.
I don't really see the point of E3.
You just want to clear up the center.
Like pray for a free move.
Like I think the idea is to just like trade everything off.
Yeah, I guess.
And like just get the center pawn out of the center.
Mm.
Because you realize if let's say we just take away this pawn, black has no hope. Black has just like what is this?
Yeah. But personally, I think that if you know that Albin, you might want to play A3 because it kills all counterplay, or you might want to play the more principal. I think this is the more natural move, to be honest. I think knight F3 is
No, because I think
very
the thing
natural.
about like A3 is you just start going after the pawns.
You're up a pawn, and you can always play knight F3. You go here, you're always
Yeah, but then you just
faster.
transpose you just transpose into the same line.
The difference being that you
You
never
go into
allow
this
this.
position the same way. You can go into this the same way.
But with this, you can play bishop check. Although
No, you
I'm not
can't.
saying it's a good move. You can play bishop check here, right?
No, because
But
after you block, there's no like there's nothing to take.
I know, but you can get rid of your bishop here.
Sure, but then like it's gonna be a lot harder too. Basically, the idea behind the way I play it, but
Mm-hmm.
let's say
Okay, so this is all
what
very
do I want to do?
natural. Contesting the two squares in the opening.
Yeah, what do I want to play? A3, knight BD2 are both very normal moves. Basically what you're gonna do is you're just gonna play this to go after this pawn. And that's basically like your main idea.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
So,
I want to show you guys a thing that you should not play, right? I had a game go like this. It was a classical over the board game.
mm-hmm.
It was the third round. I was like on tilt because I was like winning against a really, really strong player.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just
Oh
threw
yeah,
it
you
all away in
punted.
one move.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was the same day, so I was still on tilt.
Hmm.
So the game went something like this, I
Yeah,
believe.
you're
And
saying
then
not to do this as black or not to do this as white.
as black, do not play
Okay,
this.
so but this is still all very natural from both sides, right? They are still both sides are
Yeah.
still playing for black is trying to play for this pawn, white is trying to play for the D
Let
pawn.
me think. I have to let me think. I can't. I have the exact line in my brain somewhere. I just need to remember it. This was like really embarrassing.
But I think here the most normal moves would be to attack the pawn or to defend the pawn, right?
Yeah. Those are that's the typical way you're supposed to play.
Mm-hmm.
I did continue it, but then I like found some really stupid thing on move 6 that I should not have played.
Wait, this is move six though.
Yeah. Okay, here it is. Here it is. Okay, here,
Okay,
right? And then after takes, you just like you take this pawn. Okay,
okay, we
everyone just
exchange
take this
pawns.
pawn after
Yeah,
takes,
yeah.
and like you're still down the pawn, but you have pressure on this pawn. You're gonna
Uh-huh.
go check and castles.
Uh-huh.
You know what I did? I found this like I sat here like okay the guy like took a while to play this move.
Mm-hmm.
So all the way from here, I saw this stupid move, right?
Mm-hmm.
I played this. And basically my idea was right after you block with the bishop, oh this knight is hanging.
Oh no. Oh no.
And then after like takes, I believe it was e takes, knight takes. No, queen takes first, takes, and knight takes. And I was like, ooh, I'm just going to castle kingside and I'll be fine. And then I realized I can't physically castle kingside.
Yeah.
And I can't castle long either. Because rook. And then you know what was the most ridiculous thing I played? Basically like here after knight takes I realized I was like screwed. Because like
Mm-hmm.
after like here, why I just gonna castle and I'm gonna die. So I was
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, screw it. I need to go on some big last ditch attack. Then I was like calculating all my attacking lines, right? I was like, But then there's going to be so many lines where the bishop comes back here, takes my pawn, and my rook is going to hang. I can't remember what exactly I calculated. But I remember that like basically my big problem was this rook is like gonna die, right?
Mm-hmm.
In all my attacking lines. Because I think I wanted to play like g4, but then the bishop comes back and pins my knight
Yeah,
to my
yeah,
king
yeah.
to my rook.
Then you're done.
So you know what I did? I thought I was a genius at the time for playing this. I played rook g8. It's like ooh, a
No.
prophylaxis. I dodged all the attacks,
Now
and
the
this is
bishop
just like
doesn't even need to
terrible.
stay there. The bishop doesn't even need to stay there now.
And then after castles, like after castles, I played like knight c6, hit the bishop, get it to like screw off, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna like try and do this, you know,
But now the bishop
like
doesn't
just
even
like
need
try and like
bishop doesn't
yeah
even need
yeah
to
then
stay on
then
the diagonal anymore because you already disable your casting rights.
yeah
You
no
can
but
even go to
basically like at
C3.
this point I'm just gonna like bail out and play this.
Yeah.
That was like what I was gonna try and do, and then just like try and hold and then game down a pawn.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point like I played this. This was played.
Mm-hmm. Then castle.
And the problem about casting is I'm just gonna like lose this, right? But then I was like, I
Yeah.
sat here thinking for like damn long, and I decided, screw it, I castle.
Yeah.
Take, come here, right? All this stuff. Bishop h7, rook h8, bishop e4, bishop e4. Okay, here you immediately win just after this.
Because you pin. Okay.
Yeah, you have the pin. But my opponent decided not to play it, right? My opponent told me after the game that he saw this, but instead, bishop e4, and then I spent a bunch of time thinking here, like, I want to do this, and take here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like try and make the guy.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't work, but like I
It's
wanted to
just
do
the
that.
last stage attempt. Yeah.
Yeah, I started thinking about this idea, and I was like, wait, doesn't rook h okay wait, doesn't rook h4 and rook h5 do the same thing? I
Oh
spent 20
no.
minutes thinking about the difference, and
Oh
then I played rook
no.
h4, and then immediately after I played rook h4, I saw this. He didn't even need to play. I just resigned on the
No, you
spot.
can't play it.
Oh wait, no,
You
it's
take the
not
knight
here.
first. Take the knight first. Take the
No,
knight
no, no.
first.
It was after this. It was after I moved the knight. I moved the knight somewhere.
Oh, you moved the knight. Oh, I thought you were
At some point I moved the knight. I don't remember where, but I did move the knight.
That's painful. Yeah, but that was what I wanted to play earlier. Like here in this position. No, not here. In this position, is pretty bad.
Yeah, in this position, just like don't do this. Just don't do what I did.
But I was calculating this while
Wait,
you're taking.
I'm gonna be right back. Right? I have like the score sheet. I'm gonna go grab it.
Yeah, but anyway, while Mary was trying to remember the game, this was what I was calculating. Like you want to play here and then castle queenside as soon as possible. Problem is that the knight is too vulnerable. It's too
Okay, here
unstable.
it is.
So that's why you can play moves like f4 or bishop to c3, and then that's why Mary was calculating and talking about things of like, oh, the rook is going to hang and stuff like that. It's because of this problem. The knight is too bad.
Yeah, free bishop e2,
So that's why even casting here doesn't really work. But I guess
rook
it's the best you
g8,
can do.
castles, knight c6, bishop a3, bishop d7, bishop d3, castles, and I wrote interesting move beside it.
How
Bishop h7,
smart
rook
of you.
h8, bishop f e4. Oh, and then I played like knight e5 to go after the pawn.
Oh no.
And then after knight e5, b3, and then I played the.
Oh no. Then you resign.
Yeah, I saw the fault, right, and my opponent didn't even need to play. I just immediately resigned.
I think you should let your opponent play out in the future. Like play
What?
the fork, then when you resign.
I mean, and then you know what was the worst part? After this game, like I was so pissed at myself I just left. And then my opponent I immediately like just left the room. And then my opponent hunted me down. He like came to find me. I walked like away from the playing room, and then like he ran after me just to tell me, bro, I think the Albin Countergambit is just really bad. he just came up to me and told me, bro, your opening sucks. Like, bro,
That
you don't need
hurts,
to hurt me
man.
anymore.
Salt on the wound. Nothing like
Yeah, and
as
that's
well
why my
seasoned.
username is now like extremely salty, man. That is why
Yeah,
I'm salty. It was just that event.
feels bad. Feels
I might
bad.
have even seen the guy before. He's from SB.
Oh, what's his name? Maybe you shouldn't talk about. I guess it's
Yeah,
okay. Or you can just DM me
I'll
afterwards.
talk about it after call.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was like my
Unfortunate.
most painful loss ever.
Unfortunate. It's okay. We
Okay, no,
can.
this is not my most painful loss. My painful loss was the immediate next game.
Okay, never mind. We won't get into that for now. I think as
Yeah,
after you get used to over the board, it's going to be fine already. Your strength will seep through.
hopefully.
Yeah, like even
Hopefully I
now,
stop playing this stupid Rook H4.
it's like I started learning over the online, and then I also keep playing online. Then because my university chess club is held physically now, so even when I go to the meetings, I play against players. I'm like, okay, I'm calculating, but my mind is blank. It's calculating,
Same.
but I don't know what I'm calculating. It's just calculating,
Uh,
and then at the end, it tell me if the move is good or not.
yeah, I'm just like slow as hell.
Yeah, if I try to do it consciously, it's going to be very slow. So I just do it subconsciously and hope that it
That you're like
translates.
right.
So it becomes like I'm playing Bullet in Rapid as well. Yeah. But I think that's all for now. We are getting very busy. You have your classes. I have my classes. I still have assignments that
Yeah.
I need to do after this. So
Okay.
for all of you who stuck around for the little Albin Countergambit lesson, um, big ups to you guys. Thanks for watching. Next Saturday, I'm not sure if I'll be still streaming, but I'll let you guys know. I'll probably release a schedule of some sort on my channel if I do stream. So that's all for
And if you're
now.
new to my channel, I just don't have a schedule. I post whatever the hell I feel like posting.
Yeah, so best subscribe to us to make sure that that you don't miss out whenever we do random streams. Yeah. Um, what's I think I have your channel linked. If you want to find
It's
Mary's
fine.
channel,
There's a
you can
name
just
under
go
my
find
thing.
it.
That's the name of my channel.
Yeah, Meridian is the name of the channel. If you don't know how to find it, you can go to my channel. Under affiliated channels, there is Mary's channel there as well. All
Oh
the
damn,
people
you
who
put
have
me on the
collab.
affiliated channel.
Yeah, because we have worked together to do something before.
True.
I put all of the organizations that I'm part of, or things or companies that I worked with before, or like organizations, all
Uh,
stuff I just throw it and whatever. Or at least the ones that I'm publicly allowed to talk about anyway. But
mm.
anyway, that's all for today. Thank you for watching and see you guys in who knows when. Yeah, bye.